Tall Striggity, also known as Brandon.
My name is James. You can just call me James.
I'm Autumn. I go by Autumn.
That's a lovely name.
But it's not Autumn.
Oh, that's right. I changed my name based on the season. And so as of today, the winter solstice is there.
But your birthday's in autumn, and you left us in autumn.
Yeah, this is true.
So me and Brandon are in Minneapolis,
You're Minneapolis.
and Autumn is in New York.
I'm in New York City.
But you used to be in Minneapolis.
Yes, I grew up there, and I love it so much. I miss it.
Well, I'm glad it's going well for you over there.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. I really like New York, too.
Now I'm going to lose James, too. Like, that's what we wanted to talk about, was just, like, travel and the whole 9 yards. He still thinks he's going to Austin.
Well, I'm definitely leaving. I don't know where it is that I will be going, but
Is it Texas for sure, or is it anything for sure?
Austin, Texas is my go-to spot.
Okay.
But it can be wherever my heart leads me.
Well, and what do you want to do in Austin?
Well, as a dancer, the dance scene in Austin is really good.
Okay.
That's the main reason that I would go there.
Okay.
Also, it's warmer. It's south. It's not wintry.
No
not
snow.
No snow.
How's the dance scene in New York? What have you been doing?
Yeah, I've gone dancing once.
What?
Yeah, I feel bad, but it's just I went dancing at this one place that they had a live band and it was swing dancing and it was really cool. But the covers was it was like $15 and I'm like, so I mean there's a lot of meetup groups and stuff that have salsa or whatever, but it's just also been really cold and I haven't wanted to go out very much because I have to walk everywhere. So I don't know. I might do that when the weather gets a little warmer. And maybe if I find someone to go with. So, I don't know.
Have you not been meeting anybody with common interests as dancing?
No, I haven't found a dancer yet.
What?
No. Except when I went dancing, then I saw dancers, obviously. And this one guy told me about a really good blues scene. I can't remember. Yeah, like Blues Dancers of New York or something. And that wasn't too far away, so I don't know. But I've just taken some time to kind of reevaluate like what I actually want to like put time into, and I definitely want to dance because I love dancing. But it was
nothing.
What? It was also something that took a lot of time, and I was like, okay, before I just get wrapped up in a dance scene again, I want to focus in on like the things that I want to get better at in myself. And one of them is blogging and podcasting. So, yeah. So that's been kind of the priority right now, and it's just like a process of adding things back into my life. First, it was like reading, and then I ran a couple times, and I'm doing more podcasting. So it's a slow process, but.
Okay. I probably won't go about it that way at all. I'll probably be all or nothing. I'm going to jump in and like, what do I do every night of the week? Do something different.
Yeah, I see that.
We'll find out what happens. And I don't know if I'm going to stay in Austin. When I travel, I might go from one city to the next for the next couple months until it's warm in Minneapolis again and come back here.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Because you'll be driving, right?
What?
You'll be driving. You have a car.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a car.
That really makes a difference to go dancing.
Does make a big difference.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I just find that funny that you only made it out once so far. Like, what other social connections have you made so far? You're just digging in and getting yourself settled.
Yeah.
Oh, did you meet with those people who do that? What were they? Podcasters?
Oh, not yet. That's tomorrow. So I've been listening to some new podcasts, and two of them I found were about theater. And so I reached out to one of them, and I was like, "Tell me, how you got started, and I'd love to know more about producing." And they're like, "Oh, let's get together. Let's have a drink on Monday." So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm really excited to meet them and just have that talk about podcasting. So.
I'm really excited for you. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. So it's like I just want to have a project or something that I just can like put so much time into and meet people. So it's been a really good like fresh start,
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Brandon has not been doing any of that stuff, unfortunately,
What do you
like the
mean?
last year.
Huh?
YouTubing,
Yeah.
podcasting.
Well, that's why I want to get back into it. I moved the computer out here. We're seeing how this internet connection works. It wasn't working at all before, so I just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was summer, and there's just no time.
Yeah, there's no time in the summer. Okay, let me show you something. So this is what I worked on all day yesterday and this morning. Was my podcast is now on iTunes. Do you see that?
Oh!
Oh no, is it white for you?
Yeah, we can see a little bit of it.
Okay. Yeah, so this
How do we look you up?
it's not on iTunes yet, but you can go to FeedBurner, which if you have a Google account, I think you can log right in and then search for Social Endeavor, and then you can subscribe, and then it'll go to your iTunes that way. Otherwise, once they approve me, I just submitted it today, and I should be on iTunes too.
Awesome.
Yeah. But it was so accomplished. This was so complicated and so hard, and for the amount of people that podcast, it should not be this hard.
What's the process?
So,
you have to, like, submit an application or something?
well, I record in GarageBand and then edit there and then convert the file to a not PDF. MP3.
MP3?
Yep. And so then you need to have a host site. So I put the files on WordPress, but I had to pay like $15 for the upgrade. Otherwise, you can go, there's like lots of different websites where you can upload your MP3s for them to host. And then from there, you have to put it into iTunes, to FeedBurner, and then every like people can subscribe there. And then from there, you have to put your RSS feed to iTunes. And it's like an application thing where it doesn't go up right away. They have to approve you. So, but they wouldn't let me even submit my RSS feed on iTunes because I didn't have any artwork. And so the artwork had to be, 1400 by 1400 megapixels. And I don't have Photoshop or anything, so I wanted to put something up that had like a title on it, and I ended up doing it. I ended up like downloading a picture from my phone and then opening it in Preview. Turns out there's a text editor in Preview that you can add a text to a picture, and then I saved it and then uploaded it to WordPress, and then you had to put I had to make a post for that picture. So then when I clicked on the picture, it would enlarge on a web page. So then I copied that link to put into.
Nice.
I'm sorry, this is probably way too boring for you guys, but
Pretty elaborate.
Now we just know we need to do something like this. So Autumn's done it.
I can help you. So, but yeah, it was quite a process, and I'm just really happy it's up there. And I've recorded a couple new episodes of just me. It feels really weird to talk by myself, but this is all I have to work with right now. So.
Well, if you do it, if you did it like with a DJ with like a mixer station, you could like add in music, and
Okay.
and no, I don't think you would do that, but it, like if you're entertaining, you know.
It's an option. Well, and I'm just wondering, like, will people want to hear about New York? Like, should I talk about living here, or, because I still want to talk about art mostly, and just like how people create, and or just young professionals and moving. It's still kind of nondescript at this point, but I think creativity is the goal.
Yeah. No, it really does. It feels really awesome to create. If you just sit and watch TV all the time, you don't really value that a week later.
Right, you don't have anything to show for that time that you spent.
Yeah, and I mean, even if whatever you have to show is, not like some massive achievement, the podcasts, the videos, anything like that, it's still something that you're proud of, 3 months later. You're just like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a quote that I've been thinking a lot about recently. It says, by Julia Childs, she's like, find something that you're interested in and stay like so passionate about it, and just keep like learning as much as you possibly can about that one thing. And so I've been trying to do that just with something to stay busy and, to see like how far it'll take me, because you just never know.
No, that's the thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we were looking to talk about, James was talking about, the traveling thing and like, I guess our generation, how it's different and how our different options, we're not exactly settled, we're late 20s, late 20s now, we're still like kids. Like, I don't know, I don't think it was like that 20 years ago, but.
No, you're right. Yeah, we do have a lot of time still.
We were talking about maybe like, I don't know, maybe we should go to school in Europe. Like, you
Really?
brought up, and I was like, really? Like, where were you last winter? Like, last winter I was looking at that because I ran into a swing dancer from Berlin, and they were like, yeah, stay on my couch for a couple weeks. You did a job over there, and I was looking, and I was just like, well, maybe I should go to school. There's a lot of one-year programs, actually.
Yeah, you should definitely do that. Would it be a one-year program for a master's degree?
Yeah, well, that was the thing is I was looking at some in Sweden where there were one-year master's in economics programs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get that you're shortchanging it because I know like you should be doing the full 2 years or you should go for your PhD or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think it's a shortcut, but I think you come back to the States afterwards and you can still technically say, for interview purposes and anything else like that, hey, I do have this master's. It's international, so it's got to look good.
Totally.
I don't need to go and get a 4-year PhD, and I don't need all that for my life.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure would be nice to have that little extra little thing. Plus, it gives me an excuse to get out of the country again. And so I think, who knows? I was looking at that last year. I think I should actually really consider it. I can see this being something I would regret if I didn't do something like that.
Yeah. Well, and Sweden is the happiest place. The happiest
on the planet.
I don't know if that's actually the fact. I think, but I think Denmark was supposed to be. I think the Nordic countries do rate pretty highly.
Yeah.
But, there was this really awesome book. I think National Geographic did a study on like sanitarians, and then afterwards they did a study on happiness.
Okay.
I think there was a city, Aarhus or something like that. Denmark is supposed to be. And another one was Monterrey, Mexico, and I've lived in Monterrey, Mexico, and like there were a couple of really, really happy cities, and they were happy for different reasons. But I'm all about that. That's one of the reasons. So.
Yeah. And now, James, would you go to Europe? Like, you would probably move somewhere just for the experience of it, right? More than like education.
Yeah. Well, no, I brought it up to him earlier that if I was going to do a master's degree, it would be really, really cool if we could do it abroad somewhere. Plus, with some of their programs, you only have to go for a year.
Uh-huh.
You're spending roughly the same amount of money, so
really
a lot more experience in a shorter amount of time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I've never really been abroad. I've only been to Ecuador once. I've never been across the ocean, so.
Yeah. So, do their schedules work kind of the same? Like, would the program start in the fall?
If we would have done some research already, I can tell you.
I was doing research last year, but we just sat down and started talking about this before we got the video rolling. But Yeah. So, well, I don't know. It's something worth looking into, really.
Mhm.
I mean, it's especially nice if you have somebody that's, going to go with you that way or anything else. So.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Because if I travel for the next couple months, come back to Minneapolis, and then after next summer, I do not have anything planned yet, that would be perfect time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and I think it really does come down to, looking back, like, is it something that you would regret, And I think New York is definitely that thing for me. I would definitely regret not even trying to go. And I don't know if I have that next big thing where it's like, oh, I'd really regret if I didn't do this or that. I think the only thing that I would regret is if I didn't try to have like a more creative job. And I think that's what I'm trying to do now. So yeah, it's good you're checking it out.
Yeah, like I don't know what I'm gonna do when I move yet, but I'm gonna just see what happens.
Mhm.
I've already posted a bunch of ads trying to get some hits for my resume and saying, like, hey, are people interested in the skill set that I have anyway? But
So do you do it more that way than like building up a LinkedIn resume? Like, has that ever helped?
I bet it would if I have done any of that. And I have one, but I haven't really put any work into it.
You should, especially within the city with so many contacts. You should reach out because, like, I landed my last job on LinkedIn. Like, I didn't even look for it or apply for it. Like, and I know I've got emails out there on LinkedIn right now from recruiters that I haven't even answered. So I mean, they're out there.
Yeah.
They do actually look. But
Yeah.
I also see is Indeed looks better than LinkedIn actually.
Yeah, that's how I got my job here.
Indeed.
Mhm. So try that. Put your resume on there.
I just put mine on there last night, and I'm really actually I like how Indeed was looking, and I also noticed that recruiters have told me about it Indeed before. So I mean that's really becoming the
thing.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, surprisingly so.
Well, after I leave Minneapolis, I'm going to spend like the next 2 weeks like putting in my research and putting in time to try to find out what I want to do, where I want to go for the next couple months.
Yeah. That's good.
Those could be incorporated easily. Getting on Indeed and LinkedIn and maybe starting a blog, because if I'm going to be traveling, that'd be cool if I could do that.
Yes.
And then these videos with Brandon, I just downloaded on my phone, so we can do these from anywhere.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
I don't know why your tablet won't work for it, but
I don't know.
We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. How many people can you add to the GChat?
I don't know what the max is really. I mean, when I used to do the Myers-Briggs stuff last year, there would be quite a few people. I mean, like I don't know, maybe 6, 8, 10. I don't even know if there is a cap.
Sure. That's
There's
cool.
at least 6 or 8, but. So, and that's actually, so all my videos generally end up tying back to the Myers-Briggs stuff. So, what did you ever decide what you were? What were we like?
I think I'm an INTJ.
INTJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and what are you guys again? We should have said that in our intro.
Yeah, we should have said. But like, people will remember me. I don't know about James, but
I'm an ENFP.
And I'm an ENTP.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you rate all the personality types on like a scale, ENFP is the best one, and then it goes down.
He was reading. He was reading in the book, and I was like in the kitchen, and he's reading in the book, one of the books I have on it, just to like get himself caught back up on it because we haven't talked about it in a long time. And then he's just like, yeah, ENFPs are like the best. I just start chuckling because it's just it's a stereotype,
Yeah.
that people are just like, yeah, you just get a bunch of ENFPs in a room and they just tell each other how they're taking
Oh my gosh. Well, is it the best because it's like the most unique, or like you can get along with everyone, or what?
Just the most charismatic, I think, is what they're just like. We're like awesome people. They just
Yeah, like the main line of this one is ENFPs are the most optimistic of the types.
Okay.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
We're nicknamed the Inspirer.
Mhm.
there's just quite a bit. You know, you should read the whole thing, and you would love it all.
I would love it.
No, that's been a lot of fun. So that's why I wanted to get back to it this winter, but I bought a laptop and I had it shipped to my folks because I'm never home to actually get it here. But then like all of a sudden this morning I woke up and I'm like, I'm gonna move that desktop out to the living room and then I should be able to be within like I could have just moved this thing a year ago and I'd been within the Wi-Fi range. Well, I would get wireless in my room, but just not really. I don't know. I just never did it this way. So.
Yeah. So you're like, today's the day.
Today's the day.
Okay.
And then I took a nap. Then James came over, and the place is just trash. He hasn't lived here in like 2 months.
So does anyone else live there?
I got another roommate.
Okay.
Do you see this picture right here?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hung that up. Do you see this lamp over here?
Yes.
Put that there. Do you see this clear spot on the floor?
I do see that.
That wasn't there before.
He made me vacuum the rug.
Yeah.
So he buried you, he unburied you, he dug you out.
Yeah, it looks a lot better now. He can do YouTube videos every single day out here.
Yeah, no, it helped a lot. I'm a terrible cleaner. Like I just, it just, the idea of cleaning, I just don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
My cleaning concept, which I told him because I'm awful with details, as an ENFP, we are not detail oriented. So when it comes to cleaning, I just do everything as fast as possible. So
Get it done.
yeah, just trust that I'm putting everything in the right spot. So I'll just gather everything, throw it all in a spot, and then hey, look, it's clean.
And see, that's me. As I just start, like, I'm like, okay, I'm moving stuff, and then next thing I know, I'm just like moving something from one place to the other place, and I'm just I'm not getting anywhere. Like, I don't know where to put it.
This is a waste of time.
So,
That's funny.
but, yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
I imagine Autumn's a very, very clean person.
I am pretty clean and organized. It was actually really nice to have to move because I got rid of so much stuff. And I try to be a minimalist anyway, but it was just really great just to...
But you didn't take anything with you.
You took a suitcase and a coat.
Right. Pretty much. And my microphone and my camera. What else do I need?
Right, the important stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to take like 2 totes and a suitcase when I leave, probably.
Okay.
Just a suitcase.
You can leave your coat in Minnesota.
Right. But I won't be in Minnesota
Right.
when I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'll always be in a place where I do not have to wear a coat.
Yeah.
I put up a couple resume ads in, and now I can do this on LinkedIn and Indeed. I don't know how it works with posting resumes in different places, but
Indeed was really nice.
is it?
Like,
So if I
yeah.
want to post a place in like Southern Florida or Southern California or Louisiana, can you post in a specific
Well, I don't know about
location, or are you
locations.
linked in with other people? So you're going through them to try to get.
With LinkedIn, you're more linked in with other people
Yeah.
and tied to geography. Indeed, I don't know. You may be able to broadcast in different. I'm not sure. I just know that bringing the resume in was awesome. I just like uploaded my Word resume in, and it just like made an awesome resume right off the bat. I had to edit like 3 things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like ready to go.
And there's a spot where you can add more information if you want. And so what I did was I just listed a bunch of different types of jobs that I was looking for. So then they can kind of be like, oh, what does she want? Like, are we a match? You know, the recruiter can see that.
Right.
As opposed to LinkedIn, because, you know, LinkedIn, it shows that you're working at a job. Recruiters don't necessarily know if you're wanting a different job or not.
Right.
But on Indeed, it's like, oh, they know you're looking, so you're already a step ahead.
Gotcha.
So
So
I posted all that type of information just on Craigslist resumes. So I already have it all compiled, and I did a long list of all the stuff that I've done, what I didn't like to do, what I do like to do, and what type of jobs that I want to do in the future. So I think I can just translate all that over to Indeed or wherever else I'm going to post it.
So you have a will-do list and then a won't-do list.
I really do.
I wish I could do that.
What's the
I-
won't do?
Well, I listed on the ad, and people were like, "Oh, we respect that," because if you
What?
don't want to do this stuff, you know yourself. You know what you're not capable of doing. I'm awful at detail-oriented tasks. I was really good at being an administrative assistant or office manager, I guess it was, at a tax office.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 90% dealing with people and 10% organizing paperwork.
Right.
So that I could deal with. But yeah, I explained that out and outlined exactly what I've done. Like, I worked in a call center for a year and a half, and it drove me crazy because I couldn't get out and actually see people and meet them. I had to just talk to them on the phone.
Yeah.
And most of them were not happy to talk to me.
Right.
But that job probably isn't a job. If it's a job where I can never get out of the office and I can't go out and meet people, run errands, do something of the sort, then it's not going to be the job for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a great thing to know.
Yeah, and I didn't outlay it like I will not work this job.
Yeah.
These are my strong points. These are what I'm not so good at.
Yeah, that's good.
No, I should definitely develop mine a lot more like that. I just, like I said, I just started using Indeed last night, so I should definitely see what else is on there with that.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of job are you looking for, Brandon?
Gosh, I don't. I've been thinking about retooling into actuarial science, but I'm a little bit intimidated by the tests, or just like that's a fair amount of studying. But I mean, otherwise, I just I like not being bored. I'm less bored where I am currently, but than I was before. But I would like to do more with like pivot tables and VLOOKUPs and different, complex things in Excel.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily, I don't have like strong programming languages. I understand Access. I can some basic macros. But I don't have like SQL yet. So I'd like to do more with Excel, more analysis with Excel than I'm doing now. And maybe learn some SQL, stuff like that. I just don't like, doing the same tasks or just like messing around with, just like that little work all the time. I like the idea of, no, we're going to build a spreadsheet that does this, and we're going to do this so much smarter and faster. We're going to keep making the processes better. And I like dealing with things across systems. I like learning different mainframe systems and how different things work together and how the data files come in and what causes this to go wrong, what causes that to go wrong, how we can reconcile that. So I like all that interconnected stuff.
Kind of the big picture.
The big picture. So and like I said, is compared to the last I was a processor before, and like that was really boring. Now I'm not bored on the individual day like I was before, but it's still not enough mental stimulation either. I'd like something a little bit more analytically challenging.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I don't want to do at all.
No, I wouldn't see that you would.
Well, we have a lot of personality traits that are similar, me and Brandon, and it's just then some that are just completely different. It's crazy how we could be, like, we've been really, really good friends, and you're a completely different person than I am.
Well, like on the surface level, we like to meet people in a very, very similar way.
True.
We take it very, very different directions. Like, like once we meet, like meeting the same crowds or being like ambassadors, like where we would have been like maybe a year ago on the swing scene. People come in and we're like, hey, you need to meet this person. Hey, you need to meet that person. Like we're, very similar that way. But then we still like, we both had our separate. Like you were more like your John Ball people. Like that's kind of like your people, And I don't know, like your people seem a little bit different than like what I would end up doing. I like just like sitting and talking to a couple people like intensely for a long time. And I know you used to say that too, like at your birthday the other year. You just like watch me go across the table and be like, nope, I'm going to talk to that person.
Yeah. Big agenda in your head. You probably listed it out when you were sitting at a table. That's the person I talk to first, and I talk to this person.
No.
Put them at number 3.
Yeah, I do get agendized.
My system is very.
You're just trying to make everybody happy.
No, I'm like, hey, this person is a nice squirrel. I'm gonna go talk to this person. This person's doing something interesting. I'm gonna go talk to them. Like, make it all up in the moment.
I'm either driven
Which it also says in this book that one of our traits is being in the moment, which makes us.
Yeah, I can't say I live very much in the moment.
Well, that's like a major flaw as well as a good thing. Like not planning things well. Like the opposite.
And it's so weird because like as like an events planner, you're like a better events planner. You know, like
for my job, I'd be really good at planning things, but for personal life, no. No.
Yeah. That's all different.
That is interesting to kind of analyze personality like types along with the concept of moving to a new place, because for me, I think a reason why I haven't gone out dancing very much is because I'm constantly like making connections with people on like a very surface level. And as an introvert, like that's a lot of work, you know, to constantly like go out and then like this may not get me anywhere, you know. So like to spend that energy is like too much work.
Too much work.
Too much work. And so I think
Do you need to know ahead of time if the means justify the ends justify the means or something? Like if
yeah,
you
like
actually get something out of the social interaction.
yeah, because I mean like dancing for me is all about the relationships. And so it's like it's not just that I need to dance, like I want to dance, but I also want to make sure that I can plug into a place where I will like benefit from these relationships and they'll benefit from me, you know.
Yeah, that's like a totally different way of taking it. So like, and I was talking to Kylie about that actually like a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like so flipped for me because I don't know, like I do get that, like, so you sound like an investor. I remember somebody else was talking about that, like how different people relate relationally.
Yeah.
And, I've noticed that with people, and I do well with investors because I'm willing to invest in them also.
Right.
But like I don't take it the same way. Like I'm willing to invest in lots of people, and I'm also willing to, like, I can invest 6 hours of straight conversation with somebody, never learn their first name, and walk away from it and not care. Because really, I was following my personal interest. Like, I was just interested in the conversation, and that's enough. And that's how I get my kicks.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of a difference between a guy and a girl.
Is it?
Girls tend to invest a little more in conversations than men, I would think.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but enough to be stereotypical.
I think, yeah, we're also more relational, possibly.
Corpus callosum and that whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, and maybe we empathize more, or we want to find like a commonality. Yeah.
Autumn,
Yeah.
did I tell you you look really cute today?
Oh, you did it. Thank you.
Very nice.
Autumn always looks cute. She's always got the scarf and that. You got the whole look going. And there's the Autumn pose.
I know. I put on lipstick today, and I haven't seen anybody.
Well, you saw us.
So thanks, guys.
You're welcome. New York looks really good on you.
My hair.
How big is your apartment room? Or like how many square feet?
It's pretty small. Would you like to see it?
Sure.
Okay. Let me shuffle
You
this.
have a room in a house, right?
Yeah. So, okay, let's see. So here's, like, the window. And I get a dresser, like, it's all furnished. And then my bed, and I have a sink and a closet, and there's a door. And then...
Looks like a hotel.
Yeah, it is very hotel-like. And then there's like housekeeping, and then here's my desk that I've been sitting at, and then a mirror.
Get like a little kitchenette or something, or like a shared
No.
kitchen, or
There's a dining room, so meals are provided.
whoa! I want to live in a house like that.
I know. And then there's the only downside, I guess, is that the bathrooms and showers are shared. So,
How many people?
like it's weird because I think there's about 30 rooms per floor, and there's 13 floors. But I've never like really had to wait for the shower in the morning, and there's only 3 showers. Maybe there's just 3 on this side and 3 on the other side. But still, 6 showers for 30 people. Not a lot.
Ooh, no.
So,
What's your monthly rent?
I think it's like 40% of my salary. They charge you on a sliding scale based on how much you make.
Okay.
So everyone pays a different amount based on their income.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good arrangement.
It is. It works out really great, and it's like 2 meals a day, and like technically, but they also have like lots of bread in the morning, so I just like take 2 pieces of bread and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I get like all my food from here.
Oh,
Because a lot of people eat out like every day, and I'm like, I don't know how you can do that, but
I've gotten more into it the last couple of weeks. I've just been working a lot, but like otherwise, I figured out this. I make this chili, and it's really awesome because I put chili in canning jars, and I can make like 2 weeks worth.
yeah, that's
And
great.
then, I don't can it. I just refrigerate it, but
Right.
super cheap.
Mhm. I know that is one thing that I do miss is like, making a batch of muffins or like just having a kitchen to clean and like do stuff in. But food, like back home actually kind of stressed me out. Like I hated going grocery shopping. It just took so long, and I always forgot one thing. So then I could make the recipe. It was just like a hassle.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
a hassle.
so to like move into New York and not have that like to have to figure out, it's been a really great thing. So
Yeah.
good.
How many outfits did you bring with you in that little suitcase?
What else did I bring with me?
Outfits.
How many outfits? I brought like a week and a half's worth of clothes, and it actually worked out really well. And then I like put together clothes in a box and had my roommate ship it to me,
Okay.
and which was actually really cheap.
That's
And
what I was going to suggest you should have done, but yeah, you did that too.
yeah, and that's probably what I'll do when I go home. So I'm coming back in January for my friend's wedding that I'm in.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna go through my like summer clothes, and I'm gonna bring a suitcase with me to bring back a bunch of clothes, and then pack up some to be shipped later too. So
Perfect.
yeah, it'll be great. I was
No,
gonna ask you guys if you were gonna be around on the first weekend of January to like go to Astor or something.
Okay. I should
So
be. James.
okay,
James is in
Yeah,
Texas.
I won't be here.
I know, but
I
maybe
think I'll still be in Sioux Falls then. I'll probably just be getting ready to leave. And in
Okay.
fact, I don't know if I told you about my 2 sisters. I've got 2 hippie sisters.
I did.
Yeah. So they're a lot like me. They're a bit nomadic, and they might tag along with me for a couple weeks or maybe a month.
Okay, cool.
See what happens. They hooked me up with a bunch of really cool people in Austin last time that I could probably go couch surf with at least for like a whole, I don't know, probably for like a month. If I wanted to just hang out there for a month, I probably wouldn't even have to pay rent.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They do partake in.
What?
Sounds like they've got some side activity.
I was trying to think of a nice way to put it. Their house does always smell like pot, but that's okay.
You're used to it, right?
Yeah, they're like reps for Texas Normal. I don't know if you've ever heard of the movement Normal.
Nope.
It's a big movement to make pot legalized.
Okay.
I'm all for. I don't smoke pot. I'm all for it, but
Didn't a number of states just go for that now? Like I knew there's Colorado and I don't know.
I think it might be 2 or 3 states now. Yeah.
No, I thought there were a couple. Like I thought there were like 2 to 3 before, and I thought there were like a handful more that just came around this fall.
Mhm. I don't know. The only
I,
news that I've been kind of keeping up with is on Twitter. I get all of my news from Twitter. And it's been so interesting to kind of experience the news here because with the Ferguson thing, I found that out on Twitter and then realized that there was like protests going on in Times Square, and I'm like 5 blocks away from Times Square. So, and then,
Times Square?
yeah.
Belly of the beast.
Yeah, I live on 34th Street.
Dang.
Yeah. So, and then when I was at Grand Central Station, there was protests there of people, like, they would just lie on the floor.
Yep.
Like, similarly on 35W, I heard that they did that in Minneapolis.
Yesterday they shut down the Mall of America.
Really?
Yeah, which they said was the biggest shopping day of the year.
Ooh.
How did they shut it down?
There were so many people in the mall protesting, laying on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
The people weren't able to shop. So basically, I mean, it wasn't shut down, but basically they shut it down.
Right.
It was just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw something about that on Facebook, but yeah, I don't even read all of that. But yeah, I just I saw something where it was like, if you guys don't leave, you're going to use force, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I had a thought about getting back to traveling and couch surfing. I'm curious to know if you've had any experiences with Airbnb.
What is it?
Airbnb.
Bed and breakfast? I've
Yeah.
heard about it, but I haven't had any experiences. I don't know where I've heard about it. If I just heard advertisements for it, maybe? Or
I do have like couchsurfing.com. Is it similar to that?
It's similar, yeah. So Airbnb is like, yeah, a cross between couch surfing and a hotel. I've used it twice, I think, and had really great experiences. So, and actually did it here in New York when I flew here for the interviews. I stayed in Brooklyn, so it was actually really great. And if you guys ever want to do it, I can like refer you or something, and like like your first time is $25 off or something. So anyway. But I did it in Duluth one time with my old roommate, and that was like so awesome. It was like both our first time and the host's first time, and so everyone was just like so excited, just like see how it was gonna work, and and so anyway, there's this whole website where you can like put in your destination. It's worldwide, so Europe too, which would be awesome. And like some places you could stay there for like a couple of weeks too, so because it just depends on your host and what they kind of offer. So some people might only offer on the weekends, or it just depends. So I usually try to pick someone that has like a lot of reviews, because I'm sure there's lots of opportunity for things to not be a good situation, but but so far it's been really good. So I recommend it.
It costs a lot less than a hotel then, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is like, I mean, if I wanted to stay in an Airbnb place in Manhattan, it would probably, I've checked them out, and it's actually pretty expensive, but, it's probably cheaper, too, than in a hotel, and you have the benefit of staying with, like, someone who knows the area, like, based on the reviews, sometimes people, like, really want to, like tell people where to go or like help them out. Sometimes the host is like gives you a key and leaves, so and you don't see him at all. So it just depends.
Interesting.
Yeah. So and then so like the host sets their prices for whatever they want.
Yeah,
And
I'd find a room or something if I had to that was like a week to week or month to month. So I just sign up for like 1 month. If I'm going to go live somewhere and only be there for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
But, yeah, those are, I mean, I could weigh the prices because those are probably better. But if you go on couchsurfing.com, you can find situations where they're willing to do it for like a week or more.
Sure.
And they don't post for any amount of money. I'm sure that they might.
Yeah. Well, it's a good place to check out. Like if you need something like that night or something, and nothing's available on Couchsurfing, just check out Airbnb.
I did watch a YouTube video the other day that said, if you're couch surfing, you do not have to sleep with your host.
With them?
there was a girl that posted a video that there was 2 other women that were couch surfing. That if you go couch surfing, you do not have to sleep with your host.
Well, that's good.
It was like a how-to guide, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You go into a house and you feel like any sort of creepy situation, just leave that house.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's true. And there's actually some girls here that went to Boston, and something's kind of similar happened where there was like one bed and they needed 2, and like the guy's weird, so they're like, whatever, like, you know.
Do
Yeah.
they just left, or what do they do?
Yeah. And they got their money back. So like that's the other thing too. Like some hosts have a refund policy where you can't cancel, but others they will give you your money. So that's like another perk that's different than a hotel. So.
That's weird, but that reminds me, I've been thinking about doing Uber and
Oh
see if I
yeah.
can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what Uber was. I've heard of that one.
Uber was you pretty much act as a taxi service, but you can sign on whenever you like, but usually they have the peak hours where they want the most people. But I don't know if that's something that I can travel anywhere and use. I mean, it certainly sounds like it.
Yeah.
But signing up and being a part of their network, I don't know if that's how it works.
I think so. Yeah.
I saw ads for my hometown.
Like
They're using it. That's because I want to make money while I'm traveling. Ideally, obviously, that's then.
You should be a caddy somewhere just for fun. You should move to a really big city to be a caddy.
What? No.
You'd be a great person.
That would get you like go move to
Oh,
New York with
stop.
Autumn, and then you'd learn the city and like really good for your brain. Like I think that you add brain mass when you learn to be a cab driver in New York. Like it's so much math information. Although that was pre-iPhone.
I don't want to go to New York, but I do want to go other places. So it'd be nice to sign up for Uber. I mean, if I can sign up for it here, I go to Sioux Falls, I can be an Uber driver in Sioux
Who's in Sioux
Falls.
Falls?
They were looking. They posted ads on.
There's
line
like
I saw
5
the other
people
day.
that live in Sioux Falls.
There's like 260,000 people that live in Sioux Falls in the surrounding area.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
And then if I go to Texas, I go anywhere. I want to go to St. Louis. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to Georgia. I want to go to Florida. So if I go to all those places.
Yeah, you should check it out. That would be a great way to make money.
Because all those places, I have a place to stay already. So if I just go to those places, I'm just paying for gas to get there.
Yeah. Then travel for free.
Oh, no, I'm going to come stay with you next week, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't let you.
No, in the girls' dormitory area.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who was saying it to me. Someone was like, "Oh, are you gonna stay in your women's shelter?"
Somebody said that to you, like here in the cities or back there?
Yeah, like they thought where I was going to be living is a women's shelter.
Hmm.
Well, that's kind of the concept, but no, it's not.
Not.
It's a little apartment, a little mini studio apartment.
Yeah.
They have them here in Minneapolis, but
No.
not quite like that, where it's like they actually serve you meals a day.
No, I wanted to like that. That's the way. Like I just remember reading a book in Spanish class that way and thinking like, yeah, that's how cities used to be. Like if you read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography or anything like that, like boarding houses, that's like what there'd be like some person owned a house and that's what they did. They rented out all the rooms and you got 2 meals a day. Like that was part of the deal.
Yeah.
Like that sounds awesome because just like what you said, you got to go grocery shopping and like waste all this time and just like. Unfortunately, you have to eat, and it's just like something you have to do. It works out so much better if it's just rolled into the whole package.
Yeah. I know. There should be more places.
And then you don't need as much square footage then because like this apartment, X amount of the square footage is the kitchen. Like if the apartment's just a little room, like all I go home for is to go to sleep. I go home, my stuff is there, right?
Right.
So like if you have a big shared kitchen thing too, that's having shared meal, it's just so much more efficient.
And there's lots of common areas on the first floor, so like there's lots of places to hang out with like nice couches and TVs and stuff. So I feel like it would be better than a living room that I could create in a different place, by myself. So
yeah,
that's good.
Well, then you can save money that way for travel or like things that are more important.
Totally. Yeah. I was curious to know like about your about like being debt free though, because didn't you like with not getting a master's degree, you I don't know, you said something like people like you'll just have so much debt for so much longer. Like is that ever something that would make you not want to get your master's?
If I so if I had to go into debt to get my master's or what?
Right. Yeah, especially like in Europe or something.
Well,
It's
I'm debt averse, but I think I'd be able to get by or pretty much pay for it, and I'd be able to run it pretty close. So like if I had to pick up $5,000 in debt, so be it.
mhm.
That'd be fine, especially for your master's. So I was just looking at it as no, I was just looking at it more as like it's already paid off all my undergrad stuff and everything. Just looking at it as now your 4-year degree is kind of like the given. Like everybody has their 4-year degree. You have your 4-year degree just to even try to, to even kind of, start out anywhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of jobs are requiring masters, and that's kind of how that's kind of how you make any sort of class advancement or anything. So comparing, like you go to the U, it costs you 80 grand. Like 80 grand in order to do that out of pocket, like that would I'd have to spend like 4 or 5 years on that, and then like that would have to be all my savings, that would just have to dump into that. So just not a big fan of going that far in debt. And then that's 4 or 5 years of part-time schooling, so that's part-time work time that you lost out on. So I mean, what's the cost of that degree? Is it $120,000-$130,000 to get the degree? Versus you run over to Europe, you drop 20 grand and you drop a year of work. I mean, what's your opportunity cost there? It's half the cost of the degree. Maybe is it half the degree potentially, but in all objective reality, it's going to be well valued. Come back to the cities and just be like, okay, I do have a master's in economics. It's international. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So would you like only do a master's degree if it was international?
I think more so. Yeah, I do lean more that way because I've thought about doing my master's here. If I do my master's here, I guess I've never, for whatever reason, I give myself the pass to drop out of working full-time and pursue it full-time if it's international, just because it's so exotic.
Right.
If it's domestic, if it would be right here, then I'd be like, no, I'll just get my master's part-time over X number of years, because a lot of employers, offer the tuition reimbursements, they pay for some of it. So I would just feel silly not to do it as a part-time thing here.
Yeah.
But that's still just it's a good excuse to just it's a good excuse to kind of fool around for a year and be able to go, do something fun and still have it adding to your future.
Yeah, that's my reason.
So
you gotta travel abroad, you gotta go somewhere. Plus you gotta stay there for an extended amount of time instead of just visiting.
Well, and I've thought about the other thing I've been thinking about last winter is when I read Happiness to Blue Zones. And I was really looking at that. I really liked what they were doing in some of the happier places, especially Denmark. But I was looking at that going, man, it'd be so nice to move to Europe for 1 to 2 years. They get 5 weeks paid vacation, and if I lived there for 1 to 2 years, I could knock out all of my rather than flying over the ocean once every year, once every other year, and paying for that massive plane ticket. I could live over there for a year or two and knock out all my really wanted to do vacations in Europe. I could see all the things I want to see.
That's true too.
And everything else, and then you come back. But the reality is, like James mentioned, it's hard to get a work visa and get a decent job over there. So it's easier to go to school full time, and then if I went to school full time, maybe I also land a job right after, and I stay there for a year or two. That'd be awesome. And then I come back after 1 to 3 years. It would be good for my career, good for my resume. Come back here, I should be able to land very good jobs, but also have had those couple of years of fun, so that you don't get, you don't make it to your 40 and be like, why didn't I do that when I was in my, I had nothing stopping me. I should have just done it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you just have to work on the applications.
Well, I'm not committed to anything. There's lots of guy ideas. Because last winter I was thinking about it because somebody wanted me to move to Germany, and they were like, you know, you can stay on my couch and you can do this, and like that would work. And I was like, well, maybe. And then I was looking at Sweden because I know I have relatives in Sweden and I've been to Sweden before. That's cool. But then like you have to learn Swedish and have a resume in Swedish in order to like. So I was looking at taking classes at the American Swedish Institute, but you know, so I look into these things. It doesn't mean I do them. Or I was looking at teaching Korea last year. Now that came up again this year. There's few answers that just came back. There's just so many options, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So, like, how long do you have to be thinking about something before you actually do it?
You know, it totally depends. Because sometimes, like, okay, do you remember the day I met Autumn? That wasn't that far off from the day I met Kate and became roommates and got this apartment.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I went from deciding to move to having a roommate that I hardly ever met before and getting a place in less than 7 days.
Yeah,
Like,
I was there when you guys met. That was so funny.
hey, I didn't hey, you need to reply.
Yeah, she's like, my favorite place. And I'm like, me too. And then you're like, okay, let's do that. I was like, I wonder if that'll work. And then it did. I was like, that's cool. Which goes to show you how like those things that you sometimes worry about forever can just be taken care of in a matter of like days.
The biggest thing for me to actually do something like that would be, I mean, one, you have to actually have the thing on the other side of the ocean. You have to be like, nope, I applied, they accepted me, they're taking me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one would be, okay, now I'm going to quit. You know, like those two are the two. After that, all the other goosebumps you get the rest of the time, just like you going to New York. You got goosebumps. Like you were sad the day that you had to leave. Like, you know, all those things. But it's all nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, like really. So, and I guess another one was I studied abroad in Mexico, and that freaked like my grandma. Like it didn't freak my grandma out as much as my parents. Mm-hmm. But I remember her calling me when I drove a car from Wisconsin down to Mexico. Right. Mm-hmm. I drove, so I left, so I get there like 5 days before class starts, right? She calls me when I'm like halfway through the States, and she's like, so you have a place to stay down there, right? And I was like, no, Grandma, I was going to get that when I get there. And she's like, well, you at least have a hotel booked, right? I was like, no, Grandma, I was going to get that when I get there. Like 5 days.
Grandma, you should have just said yes.
And she was just like, okay, I'm getting you a hotel here in the States, like in you know, someplace I was driving through, and then she's like, I'm getting you a hotel for 2 or 3 days in the city that I was going to end up in Mexico. And perfectly, because I got in that hotel, and lo and behold, there's a bunch of other national people in that hotel looking for places to stay, and then there was like this caravan, and I went and I saw like 23 apartments in 2 days, just like bang, 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 with this big group of people. They just drove us around, and boom.
Yeah.
You know, that wouldn't have happened if Grandma wouldn't have booked me the hotel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know, like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think that's how like you and me differ from James, because James, you can just like pick up and go anywhere and be like, yeah, let's figure it out. And like I could never do that. Like I have to have, you know, something lined up for me to like have confidence to go. But which is really awesome. I really admire that, because it's something I don't think I'll ever do.
Yeah, if I took that time, then I would be afraid that I wouldn't even do it.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, no, if I just do it, I'll figure out everything I need to do. I'll find a place to stay. I'll find some way to make money. Plus, I mean, I've made enough money at the moment to hold myself up for a little while, so.
Good. Yeah, that helps.
For at least 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah.
How far off the mark is that?
Okay.
It's not that far off.
Really flying by the seat of his pants. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's good at it.
Yeah. Well, I think something you said in our podcast, or my podcast that we did, was that when you don't have anything, like you just get creative and you're like, I have to figure it out, and so you do, you know. It's like a fight or flight.
Of course, your brain is very creative.
Right. Yeah.
And it just happens because you make it happen. I've got to figure out how to do this, or I'm not going to eat, or I'm going to sleep on the street, or yeah.
Yeah. Well,
my paradigm, I think, won't allow me to do that, so I don't think that would ever happen. go hungry or sleep on a street. I just don't register that in my brain.
It's just
Right.
not an option. Failure is not an
it's
option.
never an option. Nah, it's just not an option.
Oh, what's wrong with that now? Like, I've slept weird places.
Well, no, I'll sleep weird places.
I've slept in a lot of airports. I don't know if I've slept on the street.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
That would be the worst.
That'd be the worst. It would be.
Slept in cars.
I don't think autumn's made for the streets.
No. Oh my gosh, no. But one thing I wanted to say is that Lauren wrote a blog post about like a book she read about making a list of, like, in your 20s, you know, make a list of big significant things that have happened to you in, like, the last 5 years, and then write a list of things that you want to happen in the next 5 years. So I thought that was a really good idea, just to kind of keep moving towards goals. I'm a list person anyway, so I like that.
Yeah. I sort of made a list, and it's mostly mentally. I was just, like, my last year of college or 2 years before I even finished college, I made a list to myself, and more like a promise to myself of things that I wanted to do. And I still have those, and it really hasn't changed. And I was talking to Brandon about that the other day with, like, why don't I just sit in Minneapolis and keep doing what I'm doing and maybe actually get a career job and not be so crazy. Like, I don't know. I promised myself a long time ago that no matter the circumstances, I would like to continue to do things that are on the list, that just keep it moving. It's going to be sloppy and it's going to be messy, but when I finish, I can pick up the pieces and do the boring.
Yeah.
Put together the person at that time.
Yeah, I'm getting really sick of being boring and put together. I'm too young.
I know. Yeah. No, I definitely feel that way, though.
Yeah, YOLO. YOLO.
I don't buy the whole YOLO, but, like, I've done enough for my future already. Like, I've done well with the debt thing. I just need, like, a little bit more experience. I don't want to shortchange myself and get stuck. Like, I don't want to just throw all my career stuff out the door, because I feel like once you get, like, 30, 35 and you haven't moved up to a certain point, nobody's going to let you. Like,
you've already built yourself up a lot with what you're doing. You can't just step out of it immediately. You have to make a plan for that.
So I kind of want to. But besides that, like, yeah.
I've catered everything I've done in the last 2 years to never be attached to anything.
You've got a good resume for it.
Yeah, and I still have a good resume because I've still been doing substantial work.
I would like to go freelance with a resume someday. I'd like to get into that kind of thing again. It's really nice because then, you know, I mean, you can freeform. You can work for so many different people and keep it, you know, looking legit experience-wise. Instead of looking like a fraud, which I can tend to look like on a resume. Like, I was here, then I was here, then I was here, then I was here, then I was here. Like,
yeah, so my resume doesn't look like that right now. It won't.
But you're more sporadic even than I am. But, you've got it structured well that way. Well, I don't know. You've only been for 2 guys, though, since you've been here.
Yeah, I've been here for almost going on 2 years and a couple months. So I've only had 2 jobs since then, and they kind of intertwined for a while. So it's not like And it's all, I was telling him, it's all under one umbrella, independent consulting. So
Yeah, that's good.
if I just say, hey, I've been doing independent consulting for 2-3 years after I'm all done with traveling.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been more inspired to just kind of, like, do, well, like I said, more creative work. And I don't know exactly what that means, but I don't think I've really let myself try things just to experience them. For instance, you know, I felt like I needed to stay in, like, an office job so that I'd build up skills. But I mean, I was in my last job for 3 years.
Oh, Autumn, you cut out.
We got a frozen Autumn face. James, your phone froze it.
I have nothing to do with it. I'm not on the internet.
Yeah, that's right when it happened. Correlation is causation. Boom. Trying to hear you now. You're trying. Not there yet. Still frozen.
Um,
Hey,
it's
like,
still.
there you go.
Is it good?
Yeah, here we go. You are.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
No.
Hi, Autumn.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, there's a little flakiness. I don't know what's up, but it's coming back.
Okay. How about now?
I think we're good. Roll.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying was that I wanted to do more creative work, and so like since I'm still doing the same type of like office administration, I don't feel like I'm adding a lot to my resume, and so I don't feel like if I stepped out of it for like a year to like let's say I had like 2 part-time jobs like at a photography studio or like podcasting or it's just something and then like a coffee shop. I don't know. I feel like that would be such a cool experience to have because those are all things that I've wanted to just do and try. And you know, like I still have those like where I'm at, I'm still kind of at an entry level job. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, well, I might as well, you know, like work wherever I want or just try things and explore and have fun. And then I can just kind of jump back on when I maybe have more direction. Or maybe if I jump off the administrative wagon, I'll find my career that I should be doing full time.
Well, I think that that was one of my arguments before, because I was supposed to take a job out in Oregon, and then it didn't, like, I just didn't want to do it, and I had different arguments with different people about why. And kind of one of my things, well, I didn't end up doing it, but I did find an opportunity in Minneapolis, and that ended up working out, decent. But I thought it'd be better, rather than taking an opportunity somewhere in something you didn't really see yourself in, I think you're better off working something that pays the bills, but still gives you the free time to pursue other things, and but doesn't satisfy you. You're not satisfied with your career, and you're not satisfied with your creativity in it. So it pays the bills, but it's not satisfying in those other areas, because that will give you the drive. I think it gives you the drive and the desire to find something that's more fulfilling, both financially and rewarding. What's more scary is when you get something that's a little more financially rewarding, but doesn't really hit your other satisfaction spots, because then you're kind of stuck. You're just a sucker. So, like it's hard to get out of that one. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you're comfortable.
And comfortable is so uncomfortable because, like, comfortable, but not necessarily, excited.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. That's a good way to say that. Because I feel bad saying to people, back home or something, they ask me, like, how the job's going, and it's like, I hate to complain about it because it's fine, like, it's paying the bills great, but, yeah, I'm uncomfortable because I just don't like it.
That's my dad and I would go when I took that first job in Minneapolis, and he'd call, and I'd be like, well, he's like, well, I thought this is what you wanted, and I was like, well, no, I wanted to stay in Minneapolis at least and stuff, but still, even, like, that's not the point. The point is none of these are what I want all the way yet.
Yeah.
They make money, they do these things, but it's not what I'm looking for yet. I want more complex processes. I want something more interesting. I want to be challenged more. Yeah. Not just for time.
Yeah. And I think we're at an age where we can keep searching for that, because, like, if we were, like, 30s, 40s, like, I don't know, it's not the ideal time for a career change per se, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we have less freedom at that point, but more now.
Yeah. No, we've got time, so let's do some fun stuff, right? I don't know. I have to see what I actually do with this next year. It is exciting if James is actually talking about that too, because partners in crime usually go a lot further.
I know. Yeah, that's awesome. So is that on, like, your New Year's resolution list?
I've never made one of these resolution lists. It's kind of like my mom would always get frustrated with me for Christmas, because, like, I'm so crabby about, like, Christmas presents. I feel like they're a waste of money, and then I try to explain is, like, by the time, like, I decide, like, in October, if I decide I want something bad enough where it's actually worth having, I'm gonna get it.
Exactly.
Like, there's not gonna be anything come Christmas that I need. It's like, I need a laptop. I decided I needed the laptop. My other one was 6 years old, so, like, 2 weeks ago, I bought one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it. Like you don't.
Yeah.
But by the time you decide you need something, you get it. Like that's just the way it works.
Right.
So, but I don't know what that has to do with anything. But I'm bad at making your lists, and Christmas shopping lists, and
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying too, though.
New Year's resolution. So that'd be my thing on New Year's resolutions. Although it's a good way to improve yourself, but right away from New Year's, and like if you want to make a change, make a change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I can see myself is I just without a list or without anything, the realization is dawning on me that I am able. I do want to do something neat like live abroad again, and I am totally capable of it. Doing it in a responsible way that doesn't hold me back and does satisfy my desires. So I'm a fool not to do it. But that just means I have to pick something and shoot for it. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's just
What does
hard.
Kylie think?
It's a comfort thing.
I'll help you make that decision.
Yeah.
What does Kylie think about it?
I think she likes it because she's lived a number of different areas, and then I think with her job she kind of feels stuck in that entry level processing thing too, and she's looked at some other things. She's talked about like teaching in Korea or different things. So I was like, hey, if you find something, like I told her if she gets something over there, like she should go for it because I think I could follow pretty easily. I think I'd be able to teach over there fairly easily.
Yeah.
My experience and degree. So I think it sounded exciting. But we just Facebooked her right before we did this.
Oh.
And like, yeah, that sounds exciting. Like we should totally think about it. So.
Cool. Yeah. So is she on the East Coast right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would have been fun to have her on too.
That's okay. Well, I did invite her, but like I didn't like, it was poor planning. And I think she just texted just a minute ago, saying, yeah, that she's doing stuff with her dad. So.
Okay. Next time.
Yeah, we also thought it'd be fun to get Kate on here too.
Yes.
I know. I haven't seen that girl in so long.
I know. Okay, it was so funny yesterday because, so I talked to you, James, and then I talked to Kate, and then I talked to Lauren, and I told Lauren, I was like, I've talked to all these people today, I feel like a reunion, and then, like, you had talked to Kate, and then Lauren had talked to Kate, and I talked to you. It was, like, so funny. We, like, had a reunion with each other, but not.
I talked to Kate a couple days ago. Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
Yeah, I talked to Kate a couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Just that's okay. Keep it in touch. I think I'm gonna go see her on my way down.
There you go.
Good, you should.
Stop and see her.
Mhm. Yeah, I was just listening to our podcast that we did together, and I want to figure out a way how I can podcast with someone over the phone or something.
Well, you can. No, there was an app I had for that because I don't remember if I ended up posting it. There was a guy that wanted to do this YouTube interactions for the Myers-Briggs stuff, but he didn't have video capabilities. So we were looking. There is an app I think you can get for your phone that will allow you to call out and record the call. So you're basically making a recorded phone call.
Oh.
So since you're making a recorded phone call, you can just use that as the podcast.
Yeah.
And maybe even Google Voice might allow you to make. I don't know, but I would check for apps that allow recorded voicemail or recorded phone calls.
Well,
and
to
you
make
have
it
that.
more complicated, I did buy this my boss wanted a device to be able to do that at my last job, and I bought a device that plugs into the normal headphone slot of your phone, and then it goes over the front of your phone, so when you talk, it records both you and the person you're talking to.
Okay.
That was pretty nifty. And it didn't cost that much. It was really cheap.
Yeah, but that's like pre-app technology.
Yeah, well, it is. I know.
That's like now they've got apps that that one app that like vibrates the phone and takes that rotating image, or the other, like they're able to hack the encryption. Like they can send your laptop an email, and then when your laptop processes the email, they can cut through the encryption in your computer. Just it listens to your hardware, your processor.
But this one is also USB, so immediately you can hook it up to your computer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, if you've already got it, but
yeah.
There's so many ways of doing it. I watched this one commercial on Pandora, I guess. It was so funny because this one guy was like emailing somebody over here and then texting someone over here, and then he tied a message to a bird and like threw it out. I think it was how there's like so many modes of communication these days, and everyone has their style. You know, it's like some people prefer to be emailed more than text or something. So.
That's what I don't know. Some people are text communicators, like they just, and that's what I was so excited about this whole video thing. Is it just like I'm high context. This texting stuff is just for the birds. There's no sarcasm in text. You can't tell any emotionality. You have no idea.
No.
At least you get like some hint of like different things, but I love this video thing.
Yeah, it's so much better.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's like it's like we're really visiting with Autumn right now. Like we're there with you in spirit.
I know. It's crazy. Like I snuck you guys into my room. They don't even know. No, but it does have that feeling, and I noticed that with like as I've been keeping in touch with people. I'm like, I mean, I still miss like being together in person for sure, but it helps a lot, like just with not feeling so lonely, and it's like, oh, people are really accessible, you know. So it's really nice.
Well, that was always awesome too. I just, James was like, who else can we do this? I was like, oh, let's sexual Autumn.
Yes, I'm so glad you did.
Just like, when can we do this? And I was like, how about now?
Yeah, it totally worked out. So.
Kylie said hi too.
Oh, tell her hi.
Yeah, we could totally do this a couple times. Oh, while I'm traveling at least.
Yes. Yeah, let's definitely do it then.
Now I have it on my phone, so we can just keep going wherever
You're
I'm at.
gonna need Wi-Fi. You're not gonna be able to do that over 3G.
You don't think so?
It's gonna be slow.
Oh.
That'd be. Oh. Hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I can give it a shot. But.
Otherwise, you'll be the one with the frozen face.
Yep.
You're always posed in your frozen face. It's always an Autumn pose.
Like Barney Stinson. I can't take a bad picture.
Yep.
Oh.
Exactly.
Speaking of Barney Stinson, kind of, I got Neil Patrick Harris's book. It's Write Your Own Autobiography. And it's so funny because, like, okay, first of all, you open it up and it's upside down. And so you have to look like you're like reading a book upside down like an idiot. And and then so at the end of each little story, he's like, oh, to hear more about this, go to this page, and to hear about this, like, go to a different page. And so it's like I'm constantly flipping back and forth, and it's like stressing me out because I feel like I'm gonna miss a part of the book because it's really wherever you want to go. And I've tried reading it like page after page, but nothing makes sense.
No. Have you done like make your own mystery books like in middle school?
Oh, there's a book like that?
There are books like that where you get to a page and it's like, okay, like you make decisions for the characters. So do they do this or do they do that?
Oh, that's.
But I always wanted to know like all the answers. So like I go and I story through and like make the decisions, and then when I was done, I was like, okay, now I want to go back and like I had to see where all the rabbit trails ended. Like I was like, well, what would have happened, if the story would have went this way?
Exactly. So I'll probably read this book like 4 times.
But you have to, otherwise you don't know what the other endings might have been.
Yeah.
I would not do that.
I have a hard time reading.
No, if I read just fine. I just don't enjoy it. I bring no pleasure out of reading. Yeah.
Oh, I get a lot of kicks out of reading.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I probably should let you go because I have another chat coming up scheduled with a friend.
Butterfly.
But I'm so glad this worked out because we were going to do the same thing and I would have had no idea. So.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. Perfect timing. So.
I'm glad you're doing well in New York, Autumn.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. All right. Bye, Autumn. Bye.